Hello everybody and welcome to Eastburn Models. Coming up in this week's video, we're going to be trying out some new colour shifting paint. It's a big box that I got, so I thought we'd give these a go and see what colours we get. I will be showing you the full 18 colours, but I will be speeding the video up to ×2, so it's only at least 5 to 10 minutes of a video. And we'll have a closer look once they've dried, once I put them through the dehydrator, and then at the end of the video we'll give it a final thoughts and see what colours actually they look like, what they look like when they're dried. So thank you for sticking around and hope you enjoy. Okay, so we're back in the spray booth now. We've put these through the dehydrator. They've been in there for about half an hour, but they've also been left to dry for a couple of days because I've just been so busy. So these are the full 18 colours that we've done. As for the paint itself, it was easy to thin and easy to spray. It's got some nice colours to them, but there's not much of a colour shift in them. To me, they're more a metal paint colour. That's all that they are to me. But you don't tend to get the colours that are in the bottle. But they have come out with some nice colours and some terrible colours, really. There was £25 for 18 of them. But if you're looking for colour shifting paints, I wouldn't use these ones. They're not going to give you the satisfaction you want, give you the colour shift or anything. It's awkward because I'm spraying them on a flat surface as well. That's why I went for the spoons, because they do have a bevel edge, and I thought that I'd seen some colour shift to them, but it's more of a metallic paint, really. It's come out as. There's not many of them that really has a colour shift, but even on them ones, there's not much of it, to tell you the truth. So not when you can use the Vallejo's and other branded paints that you do see a colour shift in them, and that's what you're after when you buy the colour shifting paints. But don't get me wrong, they have come out in some really nice colours. I sprayed all these on the black primer because colour shifting paints, they work better on a black primer. If I tried spraying these on white as well, and it did come out the same colour as what's in the bottle, but still again it wasn't a colour shift at all. So what we'll do is you'll notice as we go through them that what I mean about the colours. So we'll start with the lavender flash, and over the black primer it come out of blue. Now it's a nice blue, but there's definitely no colour shift in it at all, realistically. But you do get the odd bit of purple, but again it's not enough to warrant saying you want to spray everything that colour, because you're not going to get too much of a colour shift. But as you can tell, the complete contrast in colours is unbelievable, really. A lot of these tended to come out blue and purple anyway. So that was the lavender flash. Then we'll move on to the new dragon flash, which it's a green, and don't get me wrong, it's a really nice metallic green that it's got, and it does have a hue of colour change, but not enough to say paint a model with it. You're not going to really see much. But yeah, and then we move on to the yellow flash, and again it come out green. So it's not really giving me what I want from it. Now don't get me wrong, in the certain lights you can tell it's got a bit of yellow in it, but again it's just not enough really for me. And then we move on to the purple flash, which, yeah, nice colour, but again not much of a colour shift in the paint. Then we move on to the pink flash. Now I can see the pink in this, but a lot of time it looks like it's just reflecting the colour that's already on there, that's all, the hint that's in there. But nice colour is that one. We move on to the aqua flash, and there you go again. But again, if you look at them off camera, and as I'm looking at them here, it just looks like a metallic paint. That's all they do. They just got, it's just a metallic paint. That's all I can see on them really. Then we move on to the bluish purple flash. I can't see any purple in that. I can see a lot of metallic, but I can't see any purple in that at all. because it's not colour shifting. So then we move on to the emerald green flash, and again there's not much of a colour shift in them, but it has produced a nice colour over black primer. Then we move on to the yellow green flash. There is a few marks on the spoons because I kind of dropped them as I put them in the dehydrator. So yeah, it's got a hue to it, but not a lot, but it has produced nice colours. They all produce nice colours. Then we move on to the plum flash, and again it has got a hue of pink in it, as I'd call it. I won't call it a plum, but again it just gives a nicer purple, that's all. And then we move on to the red flash. Yep, it's given a nice colour again, but it's hard to tell on a plastic spoon. When you've got something at different shapes and different angles, you might see the colour shift a little bit better, but I don't think it's going to be what you require. We'll move on to the brown flash. It's more of a copper colour really, a deep copper colour is that one. But yep, still a nice colour. This is the raspberry flash, and as you can tell they're all basically turning out the blue and purples. So the contrast between the two colours, it's unbelievable. And then we move down. This one I don't really like at all. This one is the orange flash. I really don't like that colour over the black at all. Some of these worked, some of them didn't. It's not a colour that I would use because I just don't like it. It just looks like a mucky colour to me. Then we move on to the blue violet flash. Now it has produced a really nice blue as that. It's not my favourite blue out of the whole lot, but yeah, again the contrasting colour. And I mean, I expected it to be more a purple, or at least seen a purple hue in it, but yeah, just don't be fooled of thinking you're going to get purple. You're not. It's going to come out blue. The only time you're going to get purple is if you spray it onto a white primer. The problem is you're never going to see the shift then. And this one, this is the blue flash, is this one. Yeah, I do like that blue. It is a nice blue, but there's so much metallic in it. That's what the metal flakes, that's what gives you the colour shift. It reflects light, different lights from different angles, but it's not really doing its job at all. And then we move on to the cobalt green flash. Now it is a nice green, is that one. I really like the green on there. But again, moving it around the lights, I don't really see any difference in that. It's just one basic colour. They've come out pretty flat colours really, even though they've got a shine on them because it's more of a metallic. But then you've got the black flash. Now don't worry about these marks here, I accidentally touched the spoons when they were still a bit damp. Now I really like that colour, even though it's not really black. Again, it's more of a brass colour, a bronze or something. It is still a nice colour. It just reminds me of a Christmas colour, this. But yeah, you don't really see much. A lot of the colour shifting is, like I said, it's probably because of the colour of the spoon, that's all. It's not really shifting a colour. You don't really see much. But yeah, they've come out pretty flat colours of these ones, but they're not getting, you're not getting what's in the bottle. So you've got to be careful if you think you want a certain colour. and you start using it, you know, like the orange there, I really don't, it's just a dirty colour, is the orange. And I tried spraying these with 2 coats just to give it a mist, but it didn't cover as well over the black, and that's the problem. It's not like you can use, you know, you can put like a red, you know, if we pick up the flash red, it's not like you could spray that on a red spoon, it'd come out that colour, and then go over it with this stuff to try and get a colour shift. It still didn't work. I couldn't get the colour shifting to work because the spoons are coming out completely different colours. So when I sprayed it that colour on a white thing, it come out that colour on a white spoon. But then as soon as I went back over it with that, it just went back to that colour anyway. So it did everything that you didn't want it to do. But as you can tell with the way the colouring works for each spoon, you know, like the yellow, it turned out green. It's awkward. It really is awkward when it comes to these paints. I think these are for artists and canvases and stuff, but for us as modelers and want to spray as models that we build and take time over, you're not going to get the results that you want really. So I tend to stick to the higher end paints. You might not get as many paints for the same price, but at least you'll get the right colour, you'll get the colour shift that you're after. But these won't give you it. But I would use these for metallics if I want that certain colour in a metallic. So they are very good for that because there's a lot of metal flakes in these. I had to put these through a 0.5mm needle just to make sure that I didn't have to thin them down as much and it could push the flakes through, and it fired them no problem. I didn't have any problem, like I say, with the thinning process, and I used my homemade thinners that I've done a video on as well. So I used that and it thinned them down fantastic. I could have gone for the Tamiya. The problem is I tried using the Tamiya originally and it didn't really work. The Tamiya, I won't recommend for these paints, especially using the Tamiya paint thinner. But what I found were that the homemade stuff that I use, that I make, it worked absolutely fantastic. It thinned them down really quick, and I kept the paint quality as well. But yeah, so this video was just to show you about the different quality in the paint. You know, £25. I'm pretty disappointed really in what I got. I didn't get any really colour shift in the paints, even though I paid £25 for them. Now they are 60mm bottles, so you do get a lot of paint. It will last you a heck of a long time. But no, I didn't get the colour shift that I wanted. I just come out basically with a load of different colours. That's all I did. You didn't even realistically get the colour in from the bottle. So I'd understand if it come out the same colour, like the pink. I can see a bit of a pink, but I just think it's the hue of it, that's all. And to me that's not enough of a colour shift. So I can't trust that I'm going to get the pink if I need to paint something pink. Or yellow. I can't get that because it comes out green. So it defeats the whole object if you have to put these on white primered spoons just to get the colour, and then you should see a colour shift. But no, I don't. It didn't make a difference really, realistically, when it comes to spraying them on white. Yes, I got the colours on white primer. I got the exact same colour as what you see here, but I didn't get anything. So I thought, right, well then put it on black, and it come out completely different colours. So it's trial and error with these paints, and that's why I do these videos, so you don't have to, because we all work on budgets, because we are a self-funded channel. And just like yourselves, if you're doing your own spray, you know, you end up, you pay for all your paints, And sometimes you get them and you're disappointed. You could end up with absolutely loads of paint that you're never going to ever use again. That's why I do these channels, these videos, so you don't waste your money on these paints. Now if you like a specific colour, you know, it's cheaper for you just to buy the odd bottle from whatever brand you want and try and get that same colour. It's not worth paying the £25 just to get that one colour. It really isn't. Now these look fantastic when they were wet. They look vibrant and they look shiny. They were like paint does. As soon as they dry, they've gone dull, but they also leave, they're not smooth either. I don't know if you'd be able to hear that. It's more of a, it's not that, you know, proud, but you couldn't just put lacquer over that. You'd have to flatten it off a little bit, but then it's going to destroy the paint. But again, bending the spoons, the paint doesn't crack, and I bent that right over. The paint doesn't crack. It's solid paint when it's on. It's tough wearing, but again, I'd have to give that at least a fine with a Scotch pad or something, just to get that down a little bit, because you're not going to get a really nice finish once you put the lacquer over that colour. It's too rough. But some of them come out even rougher, like that one there. You can tell it's got metal flakes in it, because that's what you can feel. You can feel the small metal flakes. It just reminds me of a bauble for your Christmas trees. That's what it feels like. So they're going to need some work. Now whether or not these sand down, I don't know, but I'm not really going to mess with them, to tell you the truth, because the video, I don't recommend buying these anyway. I really don't. I think they're just the cheaper end. Even though there was £25, it's still the cheaper end than you get with like the Vallejo's when they come in the 17mm bottles. Yes, you get less paint and less amount, but you get a good quality paint that's designed to colour shift, and it's designed for airbrushing. Now these was advertised as airbrushing paints, but realistically every paint is airbrushable. Every paint is roller. You can use a roller, a brush, you know. So, but realistically, no, I don't recommend these. But that's what this video were about, just to show you the results of them, and I hope you can take something away of what the process I've done, so you don't end up with a complete mashup of colours, because you can't predict what you're going to get through. That's why I spray these spoons, because now I know that these are labelled up with black primer. It's colour shift, but it's purple flash, and it's from the make of the paint. So I know that if I put black primer on, that's the colour I'm going to get. So I'll keep these spoons with the paints now, so I know I'm not going to fall foul of, well, I need a blue, so you instantly go for a blue. The thing is, if you look at the blue flash there, to me, on a metallic, that's the blue. But yet that come from a lavender. So, and that's more of a teal, like an aqua colour is that one. You know, so you think it'd have come from that bottle, because it's nearest, damn it. But it didn't. That come from that bottle, which is completely different colour. So you've just to be careful when it comes to on spraying. So my advice to you is, when you get new paints, is get yourself some plastic cutlery, some plastic spoons, and do tester samples on them. Spray it in with the primer, and then maybe if you've got the black, the black, grey and white, just have a couple of spoons, black, grey and white, and just spray over them 3 spoons. Let them dry. You don't need to put them in a dehydrator. You can just leave them just in air and leave them overnight, and then see which colour you're going to get from it. But now I know that if I want, say, a blue, a nice blue, I think I've just got them mixed up, I have. Yeah, lavender. If I want a nice metallic blue, I wouldn't just automatically pick up the blue flash or the bluish purple flash, because none of them colours are what I want. I'd have to go to the lavender. I'd have to go to the lavender one to get that colour. So again, it is all trial and error. I'm just trying to make everything match again now. That's it. That's why I write on back at spoons. So apart from that, thanks for watching, guys. I'll look forward to your next one.